Hey folks, another day, another unboxing, and specifically another OnePlus unboxing, and specifically another OnePlus 6T unboxing. Yes, I've already unboxed it. You'll see the link at the end of the video, but that was the Midnight Black. This is the Thunder Purple version. So yes, I'm unboxing the latest OnePlus 6T color. I'm sure there'll be more. Last year we got, well, earlier this year we got the 6 in red and in white. So let's get going. The box looks exactly the same as the previous box did. The only difference here is that it says Thunder Purple, and this comes in only one version. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage for $579. So this is the only SKU you can get for this. And it's not available through T-Mobile, only through OnePlus directly. So just be aware of that. It still has that cool little community thank you note at the beginning here. So let's start by removing that. It's a little hard to remove, so I'm just going to pull on it a little bit. Here we go. So that's it. Now, we want to open the box. So ta-da! This always takes a little bit of effort, even with two hands. There we go. Nothing in here as usual. And there it is. The OnePlus 6T in Thunder Purple. And this is what really surprises me the most when I get this phone out of the box, is that it is the glass back, but it really looks like it got a paint job, like an automotive grade paint job that starts with this like very lightish purple color and goes all the way to like almost a black. And here you go, you can see it in reverse because the light's coming from here. So this is interesting. It's glass, remember? So very interesting that they can get this kind of satin finish on the glass. So let's look at the phone more in a second. I'll go through what's in the box. You kind of already know what's in the box because it's a OnePlus box and they all kind of have the same stuff. There's a divider here, and this is kind of what holds the phone in place in shipping. And then there's a little flap. You open that up and you get a case in here. And a bunch of manuals. So this here, it's got the fingerprint reader there because it's an in-display fingerprint. There's nothing else in the box. And then we've got a little box of manuals. We've got the TPU case. Interestingly enough, they put another smoky TPU case. The white and red OnePlus 6 had a translucent, completely transparent TPU case. I'm not sure this will go well with the purple because it'll kind of dim the back of the color a little bit, and you won't be able to notice necessarily this is the Thunder Purple version. So a little bummed that this isn't a transparent case, but hey, whatever. It's a free case. You get it with the phone. So here we go. We've got the same assortment of stuff as before. We've got a bunch of stuff in here. SIM removal tool. There's nothing else in here, just so you know. SIM removal tool, right? Nothing too exciting here. We've got safety information manual right there. Who cares? We've got stickers, which is really cool. Never settle. Blah, blah, blah. Warning, I'm a flagship killer. They're still going with that marketing. Very interesting. Anyway, this is just a little intro thing. Let me move the box so you can see it. I showed it on the other unboxing, but it's cool. It's like, you know, basically setup instructions, and it's upside down. So there you go. You can see it here. Let me bend it a little bit so you can see the whole thing. There you go. It shows you the SIM tray, volume rocker, front-facing camera, and teardrop notch, notification slider, silent, mute, etc. And then you get the power lock key, and of course the in-display fingerprint reader and USB port at the bottom. Now this doesn't have a headphone jack anymore, so you're gonna have to suffer through that. Anyway, watch my other unboxing for more details. But I do have here the rest of the box, so let's have a look at that, shall we? So here you've got a little divider, and it's a little letter from the CEO Pete Lau of OnePlus, and I showed it to you in the other unboxing, but I'll show it to you again. Here it is. I'm not going to read it, but if you want, you can pause through. It's a thank you letter to the community. There you go. Very cool little touch to add that in the phone, in the box. And then, of course, you get the charger. OnePlus 6 has been using this technology, the supercharging technology. They used to call it Bolt. They don't call it that anymore. That's the charger for it. And then they have, let's see, I think there's a, there used to be there's a OnePlus logo on the back. And then there is a cable, of course, USB Type-C cable. I like that they put a little rubber, protector on there, like a little condom for it. Type A to Type C. And then because this doesn't have a headphone jack, you now get a little adapter. You get a 3.5 millimeter to USB-C adapter. This is a passive adapter. It's just an analog adapter. There's no electronics in this device other than a few resistors to tell the phone this is an analog adapter. This means that the phone's DAC and headphone amp are still being used, and it's a DRAC approved hardware, so it's high quality, which is great. So basically, yes, you lose the headphone jack, but the sound quality is the same as the OnePlus 6. You can also use a digital dongle on this phone, like the one from the Pixel, for example, if you want to have a different DAC or headphone amp, so you have choices. But it's, something you're going to lose and potentially forget at home, so that's why I prefer having headphone jacks provided. That's just me. But the good news is this is a really cheap dongle to replace if you lose it. It's like $2-3 on Amazon for an analog dongle. Just look for an analog dongle. You don't need to buy a more expensive, like $9 plus digital dongle. But let's look at the phone now, shall we? There it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove some stickers. You like that sound, don't you? And then this IMEI sticker really does need to go as well. And now we're good. Look at that. Beautiful. That is a really interesting color. So it really has that kind of like S-shaped reflection. You see that? That's etched in glass. This is a glass back. Crazy, crazy stuff. And in front here, there's a little sticker telling you that you have to use approved screen protectors for the fingerprint reader to work, which makes sense. So there's also a pre-applied screen protector on this phone, like all OnePlus phones. I'm not going to remove it, but there you go. So let's do a quick tour of the phone, because this is just cosmetically very different. Because that purple kind of also goes to the frame. As you can see here, it's a gradient, but it's kind of subtle up here especially. So you've got the SIM slot here, which is fully black. Interestingly enough, that was how they were able to keep the SIM tray black for manufacturing. Then it kind of really switches over to purple for the volume rocker. And then on the bottom here, you've got USB Type-C, a speaker, and primary microphone. Remember, this is just a mono speaker, just even though there's two slots. And we lost the headphone jack on the OnePlus 6T, sadly. But it does come with an adapter. I'll show you the rest of the box in a second. Then on the right-hand side, you've got the slider here for... Again, this slider is the same color. They didn't have to color it because they chose to do this gradient. And then you've got the power lock key here. On top, nothing but the secondary mic. And that's what you'd expect. In the back, there's two cameras here. 16 megapixel main camera, f/1.7. There's a secondary 20 megapixel camera, f/1.7 as well. The primary camera, which I'm not sure which one is, probably the top one, has OIS, and that's what's used mostly. The secondary camera assists more light gathering and all that stuff. OnePlus logo, no more fingerprint reader, dual LED flash, and that's it for the back. And of course, you've got the design by OnePlus at the bottom here. The front of the display is different now. Instead of the 6.28 inch display from the OnePlus 6, this is a 6.41 inch display. So let me turn it on so you can see how much bigger that is. It does have a very small chin, and it has a tiny, tiny teardrop notch. And of course, you get the fingerprint sensor right underneath the display. So there you go. It's starting up. And yeah. It's a very interesting color scheme, I have to say. An interesting way they were able to reuse the SIM tray and the slider for the notifications without having to manufacture a different color, by having the gradient kind of stop a little bit on the edges here. Very, very interesting trickery. So here's the display in all its glory. As you can see, it's almost the entire phone. It's got some kind of oddly rounded corners. You should check out my review. I reviewed this phone for Geekspin, and you can see my thoughts on it in more detail. But basically, I really like the phone. But I'm wondering if maybe buying a OnePlus 6 is not still a good decision, since the only thing you really gain from this phone is a larger battery, 3700 milliamp hour versus 3300. Everything else is pretty much the same. You lose the notification LED and you lose the headphone jack on this. So basically you lose a bunch of stuff, but you gain a bigger battery. And that's basically the biggest advantage of this phone. Of course, it also works on Verizon in the US, LTE only, so no CDMA support, but it's officially approved by Verizon. You can buy this phone, not this purple one, but the black one, the mirror black one, the shiny black one, at T-Mobile stores. So be aware that that is what you're getting. Quick comparison with the regular Midnight Black OnePlus 6T. This is my Midnight Black OnePlus 6T. You can see it here. I've been using it for a few weeks, and this is the difference. So as you can see, the S shape is still there in the glass, but this is like a matte satin black finish. And here's this Thunder Purple. Very good comparison. You can see that up front and personal. Here are the different. You can see they don't look too different from the top. It's when you put the bottom side by side that you really notice the difference, right? And there you go. You can see that satin finish, that glass finish. That's really incredible. So there you have it. This is the OnePlus 6T in Thunder Purple next to its sibling. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Stay tuned for more videos. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, subscribe to the podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. This is where most of my content lives. And do look at my review on Geekspin of the OnePlus 6T. I reviewed it for them. I do some reviews for a bunch of websites occasionally. But mainly the podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com, is where you should follow me. Subscribe to the podcast. I'm on all the major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in, and cheers, everybody.